In the silence of the night, as the clouds swallowed the stars and the moon cast its silvery light over the quiet harbor, a harbor whore laid a small bundle at the door of the Order of the Great Green Arqueseizure.
The mother, a dockside dolly, carved from the salt-scented winds and shadowed wharves of the harbor, released her son the instant he drew his first breath. Cold and unflinching, she placed a meager bundle of gold in the folds of the cloth that wrapped him, a trembling gift poised between hope and duty, and let him go, for she knew it was best for the child. To the eyes of others, it may have seemed cruelty, yet in her heart it was care, sharp and certain as a fisher's knife, reaping only what must be taken. The boy vanished into the custody of the Order of the Great Green Arqueseizure, whose faces were impassive, whose mercy measured not in pity but in relentless precision. The gold flowed away like water between the planks, and with its passing, the boy's fate was set upon the indifferent machinery of obligation and labor.
When he grew old enough to bear the weight of toil, the Order placed him with the harrow fields. Their fields lay thin and exhausted, their livestock meager, and the house more numerous than the meager harvest could ever hope to sustain. To them he was no more than another hand for labor, another mouth to feed, a silent contest between utility and burden. Yet even under plow and wind he remained distant, as though his heart belonged to a landscape beyond all fatigue and toil.
The nights were aglow with restless light, voices without name, shadows that seemed to reach for him. Time and again he slipped away beyond fences, beyond walls, from the mute order that held him captive into the mist and cold. At once shelter and trial returning, his eyes shone with a fire no one could fathom, kindled in absence and longing, in the unspoken dreams that shaped his soul.
At last the Order sent him to the house of discipline, a construct of cold halls and long stairs, wrought not from stone alone but from intention. He restrained to smooth to shape. There he learned the mechanics of labor, the cadence of obedience, the artful rigor of ritual. Yet the storm within him remained untouched, a sovereign cosmos hidden beneath every rule, every enforced breath.
Within those walls he observed the delicate hierarchies of power, the faces of those who sought dominion, the tyrannies of routine. He mastered the measures of authority, the precision of ritual, the demands of skill and craft, yet none could contain the surging energy of a spirit outwardly obedient. He learned, labored, and complied. Inwardly his mind roamed to horizons beyond stone and iron, to Nyth-Goroth, whose name he knew from merchants' whispers and the occasional letters of the Order.
Nyth-Goroth unfolded before him like a breath of stone, light and shadow. The city was a labyrinth of valleys and gates, its meaning revealed only to those capable of reading its signs. Words hung like invisible threads, shadows wove patterns upon the walls, and every motion might bear significance. Those who could not grasp the truth were lost, those who presumed it known were devoured. Here much was spoken, yet little said. Words floated as veils in the air, and their true meaning was legible only to those who read between the silences. Truth lay not in utterance, but in the spaces between.
He began with wine, heavy and deep, flooding the heart, but the soul, a first flicker of fire in hidden recesses. Soon followed the king's crystals, cold and deadly to others, yet leaving them untouched. Fairy dust scattered reality into glimmering shards, mushrooms whispered of ancient gods. Then came the black blood, a dense mineral essence drawn from abandoned shafts, prizing the mind free and hurling it into luminous alien realms, a substance that took more than it gave and yet could not slay him.
This impossibility, this defiance of all natural law, drew the attention of the shadows, not out of mercy, out of interest.
He merged with the city's underways, petty thefts blossoming into secret alliances, deceptions into serious plots. His mind was a lattice of cunning, his soul restless and hungry for dominion. Silently he resisted the Order, the king, their emissaries, not through brute force but through insinuation, glance, and intricate maneuvering. The shadows watched him, every breath, every movement revealed his strangeness. Even his breath escaped the spells, and in this resistance they recognized his uniqueness. King's crystals of fairy dust had no devastating effect on him. He became intoxicated but did not die. Finally the Order's net ensnared him, and he was taken to the depths where even the bravest shrank back.
The prison walls closed about him like a heart of black stone, shifting and writhing with his anguish. Chains of molten essence clasped his soul, pulling and tearing until every motion became its own crucible. Pain, suffering, memory, a ceaseless writhing sea devouring him from all direction. No sleep, no respite, no mercy. Each breath burned, each recollection cleaved like fire through flesh and spirit. His own conscience, heavy with the weight of deeds committed, gnawed upon him like ravenous shadows. The world beyond continued indifferent. different. He existed only within this endless maelstrom of darkness, torment, and remembrance. Banned by the codes of besetting shadows, his lantern held up my melunted gleam. No skin, no recleve, only the candle marked to you. That the souls was friendly, occasional hand shadow.